I apologize if you can hear my fan going, but it is like 85 degrees in here, so I am not about to turn it off. Hello, good morning or good evening whenever you're watching this. I hope you are doing well. For those of you who are new here, my name is Catherine, and first of all, let me say thank you so much for subscribing. Everyone who has subscribed, I'm now over 100 subscribers, which is crazy to me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to push the button. It's on this side. It'd mean a lot, and I'd love for you to join me in my booktube journey. Let's get into this video. Today I am going to be going over my Reading Rush TBR. I don't normally do TBRs, like for monthly TBRs, because I'm terrible at sticking to them. I am such a mood reader. But this is going to be my very first year that I am participating in the Reading Rush. If you don't know what the Reading Rush is, it is a week-long readathon. I will put links and info in the description of this video. Basically, it is from July 20th to July 26th. There are 7 prompts, and it's really up to you whether you read a book per prompt or you can combine 2 of the prompts to fit 1 book. It's really up to you. For me, I am going to be attempting to read 7 books. I have planned 4 physical books, one of those being a graphic novel, and 3 audiobooks. So hopefully it's doable, fingers crossed, but stick around on this channel and I'll be posting like vlogs and stuff when the Reading Rush is actually happening. But in the meantime, let's talk about the books I'm gonna be reading. The first prompt is a book with a cover that matches your birthstone. I was born in the month of March, so my birthstone is aquamarine. The book that I have chosen is Stay Gold by Toby McSmith. This book is about a transgender boy named Pony. He has just transferred to a brand new school, and he is really hoping that he can keep a low profile and not get harassed for who he is, because that happens. However, that becomes very difficult when he locks eyes with a cheerleader and, of course, sparks fly. And it sounds like such a cute, adorable contemporary, and I'm very excited to read it. And also, the cover is like beautiful and aquamarine, so perfect. The next prompt is read a book that starts with the word the. I thought this would be a lot easier because that's like a pretty common title starter. Luckily, I have a book that I have been meaning to read for the past year, and that is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones. So this book is about a girl named Ryan. She comes from a family of grave diggers. Now, the problem in this world is that the dead don't always stay dead because of an ancient curse. So of course there is going to be a quest to try and break the curse with the help of a map maker named Elias. It sounds so cool. I love Emily Lloyd-Jones' other book, The Hearts We Sold. It was so good. So I am very excited to read this one. The next prompt is read a book inspired by a movie that you've already seen. Now, as much as we preach, read the book before you see the movie, that doesn't always happen. Also, so many movies are based off of books that it gets hard to keep track of sometimes. The book that I'll be reading for this prompt is Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mayas, I believe. This is a autobiographical memoir-esque book about a woman who goes to Italy and buys a old rundown villa and fixes it up, which honestly right now sounds like a dream. I was definitely inspired by Amy over at Q Book Reviews to read this after I saw her best travel books video. So if I can, I'll put a link to that. I absolutely love the movie. I'm sure the book is completely different just from basic understandings. So I'm very excited to see the difference between the movie and the book. Prompt number 4 is read the first book you touch. Now, from what I understand, this is very much up to interpretation. So I haven't chosen a book yet. However, I'm going to choose it on camera. I have a stack of books here, all roughly the same size and about the same dimensions and everything. So I'm going to close my eyes and you can all hold me accountable to actually pick the first book I touch. I'm gonna close my eyes, try and shuffle them up, and then the first book that I touch will be the one that I read. Oh, this is a lot harder than I expected because these are so heavy. So I'm going to figure out first book I touch. Ah! So the book that I touched is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book has been all over BookTube and Bookstagram, and just the whole like YA bookish community has been talking about it so much. So I'm so excited to read this one. It is about two girls who discover that they have the same father. They didn't know they had the same father until he dies in a plane crash. I'm very excited to read this. It's all written in verse form, which is so unique and so different, and kind of what Elizabeth Acevedo is like known for. So I'm very excited, and I'm hoping that because it's in verse form, it's a little bit of a quicker read. So I'm glad that this was the one that I touched. The next prompt is read a book entirely outside. Now, this one is another one that is up to interpretation, especially since these prompts were written before quarantine and COVID-19 was happening. Luckily, I do have a backyard, so I can very easily read a book outside. But because I have a very low attention span and it is so hot right now, and I am anticipating it being hot all throughout the readathon, I have decided to go with a graphic novel to make things just a little bit easier. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but I count graphic novels as reading. And I am going with Witchy by Ariel Slamet Ries? Slamet Ries? In this kingdom, people's power come from the length of their hair, which is such a cool, wild concept, and I am super into it as a long-haired person. The artwork in here is absolutely gorgeous, so I'm very excited to read this. The sixth prompt is read a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read more of. So the genre that I really want to get back into for me, because I used to read a lot of historical fiction, and I haven't been reading that as much. I especially like historical fiction that has like magic elements, like The Diviners or Kingdom of Back. I like very much got back into those kinds of books this year. Until then, I was reading like very much like it's fantasy or like contemporaries. So the book that I have chosen is a book that I'm so excited to read, and that is My Calamity Jane by the Lady Janies. The Lady Janies books are fun, satirical books with a little bit of like paranormal elements to it. So this involves Calamity Jane. I believe Annie Oakley is in there, and Frank, oh, I know his name. I was an assistant director for Annie Get Your Gun. How can I know? Anyway, the sharpshooter people. It also involves werewolves, so I'm very excited about that. The final prompt for the Reading Rush is read a book that takes place on a different continent than you. For this book, I have chosen to read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I was definitely inspired by Paige over at the PM Reader because she just read Pride and Prejudice for the very first time, which is so exciting for me because I loved this book. I believe last time I read it, I was in like the 8th grade, and then I'm obsessed with the movies because the 2005 Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice is a work of art. So I am going to be reading this for the first time since 8th grade, which was a very long time ago. Also, this is like the actual Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This edition just happens to be the Lizzie Bennet Diaries edition, which, throwback to Lizzie Bennet Diaries. YouTube was a simpler time then. So I'm so excited to reread this one, and also I will link Paige's video of her reading Pride and Prejudice for the first time. So that is my Reading Rush TBR. I am so excited to be reading these books. I'm nervous because I don't know if I'll be able to read all 7 of them in a week, but we'll see. Some of them are shorter, so Fingers crossed. For the Reading Rush, I will be posting a reading vlog. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do like one per day because that sounds like a lot of editing, but maybe, we'll see. If you wanna see, you should hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of those videos. I'm sure it's gonna be a wild time. I'm sure I'm gonna be filming at like 3 a.m. Trying to finish these books. And if I know myself at all, the later into the week it gets, the crazier I will become. So if you don't want to miss that, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, bye.